Okay, hello everybody. Today's date is June 29th, 2021, and my name is Leslie Williams. Now, I, the, the best way to unlock, information pertaining to what's going to be disclosed in this video is by, well, first of all, I strongly suggest you go and get a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to give you about a minute to go do that. So I'm approaching 30 seconds into the video. So at 1 minute and 30 seconds into the video, I will start the subject matter. Now, if you are a regular follower of mine through either the YouTube account you're watching this video through, and or my Twitter account, and or my blog, please understand and know that eventually you will see a lot more links pasted within the descriptions of the YouTube videos that you're watching this video through. My schedule is completely congested, okay, as a direct result of many of the effects that I'm already enduring that have been intentionally imposed upon my life through the crime of gang stalking. And through every day, my schedule is just like I'm getting ready to move again, and I have already moved 28 times in the past year, about 2 years, maybe a little bit more. So this crime of gang stalking intentionally keeps its victims tied up in the busyness of anything and everything in order to interrupt their schedule, so that they are not able to be they don't have the mental freedom to focus on legal work, legal preparation, looking for lawyers, trying to find and filter out the corrupt ones. So I'm going to go ahead and just wrap that statement out. Trust me, a lot more could have been said concerning that, because I don't want to segue. I don't want to get off into any other I don't want to get distracted in things that are not related to the subject matter of this particular video. So just trust me when I say this crime is absolutely, massively, a huge aspect of it concerning just one of their specific applied techniques that can be effected through many different other techniques and methods, is done in order to intentionally disrupt the target schedule for many motivations. Now, as you continue to stay with my exposures, you'll begin to be able to see how that can be done. The only thing I can do right now is just tell you to trust me. It is being done intentionally. It's a very big subcrime connected to this crime, because they know that when they can distract the victim into anything else, including things that take a lot of time, then they know that that's more time the victim is being taken away from their sequential work that needs to be done in order to try and find legal redress in order to get out of any and all crimes that they're already enduring. So keep that in mind. Now, you should have had more than enough time to go get a pen and piece of paper. So I'm going to throw some information out to you. This can be considered video 1 of the of the implicated CIA hyper game theory program that is imposed upon a gang stalking victim's life and even themselves. So pay very close attention to my statements. Research all descriptions that I make concerning when I identify what gang stalking does, and then you'll be able to see that how they benefit from it through the effects of everything they do. So let me segue into now the subject matter. Now, when you do any research on the internet concerning John Nash, who happened to be the professor showcased in the movie A Beautiful Mind. Hold on one second. If you do any research into John Nash's endgame theory, you will discover that John Nash was an absolute genius from West Virginia, and he was able to create specific types of endgame theory hypotheses that were then incorporated within many fields of discipline. Marketing, FCC codes, game theory in reference to business. And since it was an overall game theory, it could literally be applied in many different disciplines of research, and then applied in real-time applications pertaining to many different areas of life. So I'm going to end that statement there, or otherwise I'll just, keep divulging more details concerning that. Now, endgame theory has got a lot of identical attributes that are incorporated within the CIA hypergame theory that Dr. Robert Duncan and many other educated gang stalking victims. Dr. Robert Duncan, I don't know if he's a gang stalking victim or not. But a lot of his exposures do assist gang stalking victims becoming more educated concerning what's happening to them, how it can be done, some of the resources and even technologies that are used against victims in this crime. So you definitely want to go to Google and type in Robert ex-CIA scientist Dr. Robert Duncan, The Matrix Deciphered. He's also an author, so he's got many books. I personally have not had a lot of time to thoroughly research his exposures. I've seen some very good exposures on YouTube, very, very good ones. So he is definitely something you want to pay attention to, as well as Brian too has also he's also exposed many, many, many things related to this crime. And so far from what I've seen of his exposures, I agree with about 99% of them. And that's a hell of a lot if you had any idea about what this program is about and what I and my fellow gang stalking victims are stating they're enduring, pertaining to like whatever. Well, let me just backtrack on that statement. Becoming very educated concerning the Brian 2's exposures and other information that I've discovered online, as well as which gives you educated knowledge. Then when you can kind of cross-reference that information onto your experience, trust me when I say, at this time, I agree with about 99% of what Brian 2 discloses. Now, the CIA, so you can research Brian 2. His last name is spelled T-E-W. You can find him. He's all over YouTube. By typing in at YouTube search box, Brian 2 electronic harassment, Brian 2 remote neural monitoring. You can also go to Google and type in Brian 2 remote neural monitoring, the 2 hypothesis. And just be patient. You got to have a patient posture when you investigate this crime, because this crime is massive. It is a big, oh my God. This crime is so big and it reaches into all aspects of life. And so there's no way that you can expose this crime in its entirety, even in a 1,000-hour video. And that is no exaggeration. This crime is massive. But resetting back now to the exposure of the CIA hyper game theory that at least Brian 2 is exposing. And remember, I've been an open gang stalking victim now since 2002. It's now 2021. So next year, it will be an even 20 years since the open community-based gang stalking started against me and my life. It was already going on in my life through other means, meaning that other gang stalking applied techniques. The program was already going on in my life way before that. And a lot of managed destruction of my personal life and the management of places that I ended up being in and then eventually got exploited in were going on way, 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 way long before 2002. When I give my exposures, I usually reference things that I've endured and educated knowledge since 2002, because once you start becoming victimized through the community-based harassment, which is where the community is used to apply many different gang stalking techniques against you and or around you mostly, concerning you, at times directly towards you and your property even. So when the community-based harassment starts, you definitely start to notice that you were a victim of a crime, because they need you to notice everything they prop up, because that massively assists in the brain entrainment that they're after and brain mapping. Now, just trust me, stay with this video, because I guarantee you, if you stay with this video series, and also if you watch the other exposures within the dedicated YouTube channel that you see this in, your mind is going to be literally blown. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start explaining concerning what I think that the CIA hyper game theory is as of right now, concerning either and or experience, at least marginal educated knowledge. And trust me, I got the ability to be able to express this in layman's terms so the average person can understand it. And I'm not trying to insult anybody in any way, shape, or form, but when you stay with my exposures and when you hear some of the things that I got to say in this video, you'll see why that particular type of statement was made. Now, John Nash, the endgame theory that John Nash created in a rudimentary, fast summary of it, is where when you have a game, when you look at the game like Monopoly, the game of Monopoly, most adults are familiar with, and most kids are too once they get to be a certain age. And Monopoly, when you buy it, you bring it home and you play it, you discover, even in the first time playing it, you discover that Monopoly has a certain specific rules to it in order to play the game from beginning to end. So in Monopoly, if you play Monopoly in the way that the instructions say, then what you have here is a game that's got parameters about what you are allowed to do and how the game is played in order to achieve specific outcomes. Excuse me. Now, so if you keep that in the back part of your consciousness as you continue to watch this video and watch my other exposures that are already online and future ones, you'll trust me, your brain will connect the dots, because gang stalking, a huge aspect, I'd say at least 90% of the community-based harassment is directly it is designed to be perpetrated so that CIA hypergame theory and the entrainment connected to it can take place and be achieved. Now, so when we look at the game of Monopoly, we see that if you play by the instructions that come with the game itself when you buy it from a store, then you know what the rules are, what your options are, and how the game is played. In CIA hypergame theory, and concerning what's exposed about it, in CIA hypergame theory connected to gang stalking, is where the victim's life, they are put in a program, the program of gang stalking. And as a direct result, when the victim is put in this crime can only perpetrate marginal aspects of it against you, like the marginal aspect that it might need to, in order to create initial effects, like blacklisting the victim from employment. Now remember, you can go through years of this crime without even knowing that what you're enduring through it, including concerning each applied technique, okay, is being managed by and through a covert agency, okay, that is intentionally doing what it's doing in order to cause negative effects within your life. So many things connected to gang stalking can be literally engineered and executed so that they can be, so that when they are applied against the victim and or the victim's life, it will create the effects it needs to, and then those effects are built upon and monopolized on. So just to give you a fast example, say if you got a victim that they pick in 2001 and they decide that they want to start targeting that victim in a way so that a lot of bad circumstances are created, effects and circumstances are created. So then once those circumstances and effects ride themselves out, they will then continue the program by applying other applied techniques and methods that not only keep the victim trapped in the current circumstances, but so that also those circumstances can be exploited, the effects of it can be exploited, and then they will sprinkle on other additional techniques that then fit like a hand in glove to what's already been affected upon the victim's life. So let me give you a fast example. You can be a victim of gang stalking without the community-based harassment. So therefore, they can start destroying your personal life by blacklisting you from employment, and the victim will just think they're having bad luck in finding a job, keeping a job, and so on. Now, by then, by the time this has even begun, they already have your financial profile, your family profile, the profile of all your relationships. They already have a good, at least general idea of how you think as a person, what you believe in, what type of person you are, concerning your attitude, your personalities, your spiritual beliefs, your finances, your social relationships, every single thing that you can think of that makes up your life. They have already been in it, monitoring it covertly for anywhere between 1 to 5 to even 10 years, because they take that information and that information assists them in creating, in employing certain attributes within the program itself, so that then when they are applied, it has it assists in creating specific sub-motives connected to the original motive. So if they can blacklist you from employment and you have already got strained relationships and you can't depend on anybody, well, they know then it's just a matter of time before you run out of money and you're going to end up homeless. Combine that with the fact that they can covertly, easily, privately collude with landlords, property owners to have you evicted for whatever, any reason, And they always, one thing about gang stalking is that when they're doing things to you, especially when they don't even want you to sense yet that your life is being covertly destroyed through the covert management of it, they will definitely make it appear to the victim that what is happening to the victim in their life is happening through normal appearing reasons, excuses, and mishaps, because otherwise then it will become, the target will start noticing things, and when the target starts noticing anything that's being done deliberately, they will then start whistleblowing. They will then try and start getting help, even though the whistleblowing will only assist marginally, and that's, and I'll get to that in an upcoming video dedicated to this video series, which is going to be titled Gang Stalking, Remote Neural Monitoring, CIA Hypergame Theory. Each video of this video series will have the same title. Video 2 will have a number 2 at the end of it. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and whatever will also have numbers on it, so you'll know which video to watch first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and so on. So, if you're blacklisted from employment and they already got your relationship sabotaged, which they can absolutely do, okay, through many different means, including using neural weaponry on your family members, your friends. Just stay with my videos. Trust me, you will see all of this. If you do, you'll understand all of it. So, if they can covertly manage you to end up homeless, hold on a second. Now, if they can covertly manage you to become homeless by and through the ways I've already stated, because, see, most Americans don't even know that they're 3 paychecks away from being homeless. If you don't have anybody to run to once those 3 paychecks have been liquidated through whatever decision-making process, okay? You should also know this crime will intentionally destroy your ability to have not only shelter in relationships, but it will also target your car and your vehicle in many different ways, including on several dates, in order to get the victim to go through whatever savings they got. Because you gotta remember, this victim doesn't know yet that everything they're already enduring is being covertly managed. So they just believe they're having a problem with their car. And the perpetrators are aware that the victim is aware of the victim's upcoming circumstances, meaning that they're aware that the victim is realizing that if they don't find a job, they're going to be homeless. So the victim knows that they need their car to look for a job. They know they're going to need their car to sleep in if the homelessness is created. Okay? And so they know that that victim will likely spend their money to get that car fixed. So, trust me when I say gang stalking has massive amounts of different applied techniques and tools in their toolbox that they employ upon the gang stalking victim and their lives in order to make sure that the victim ends up in the circumstances and effects that they want the victim in. So say if you make a woman homeless, or a man, I'll just say woman for the sake of this video. So say if you make a woman homeless, which they can absolutely do and are doing. There's hundreds of thousands of gang stalking victims right now in America. Tens of thousands of those are online reporting this crime daily on every single social media platform daily. Okay? 70% of all victims are women, so do the math on that. Okay? So, and this crime, every aspect of it is completely protected at all levels. Federal, state, county, and local. Okay? That means federal law enforcement, state, county, and local law enforcement, including intelligence agencies, whom are all widely, massively reported, implicated to be directly connected to this crime. Directly. But they'll never admit it, ever. Not even 1 second of truth. They'll never admit it. So check this out. So, what do you think? So imagine yourself as a person being made homeless. Okay, let's just say that what you got left in your savings account is $300. You're already 2 months behind in rent. You can't find a job. You got $300 in savings, and you're starting to have problems with your car pretty frequently. So you knowing this, while you also know that you have literally no one to depend on at all. It doesn't matter if you can see yet how this crime is able to ruin every relationship you got. Family, friends, intimate partners. It doesn't matter if you can see that right now. The only thing that I can tell you concerning that is, one, it is the absolute pure, thorough, literal truth. And if you stay with my exposures, you'll come to understand it over time. You can also research my statements as well. Okay? You can research all my descriptions of gang stalking at Google, and you will also find a lot of information pertaining to most descriptions through YouTube as well. So, let's say that you as a person got $300 in your savings account. You've been out of work now for your unemployment benefits have run out, if you were lucky to even get those. Okay? Your car is frequently breaking down, and you realize in your own mind that you absolutely have no one at all, period, to depend on for anything, not even $1. So imagine you being in that situation. So you start to see that $300 run out, and you say to yourself, "Okay, I got $300 in my bank account. Right now, the mechanic is telling me in order to fix my car, it's $75. So that brings you down to $225. You're 2 months behind in rent, okay? And this crime will make sure you don't find a job while you're going through this. It will because this victim has got a handler, somebody who is somebody or somebody's, okay? Are managing the program the victim has been put in, so therefore they are literally staying in touch with the victimization and the applied program within the victim's life on a daily basis, 24/7. Okay? 24/7. And it doesn't matter if you believe any of this is possible. It doesn't matter if you don't yet see how any or all of my statements are being made, are able to be made possible. It doesn't matter. It's going on. Okay? So, you're down to now $225. You got a 30-day eviction notice, and you literally have no one to turn to at all, not for emotional, mental support, no one to turn to find out about resources to get help, and no one to depend on even for $1. Yes, you can go to social services. Yes, you can. But eventually, they will figure out, because it's already part of the program, social services is already part of the program. Make no mistake about it. And you should also know that federal benefits can absolutely, thoroughly, 100% be controlled as well as state, county, and local unemployment. It's a program run through this entire system in order to achieve its objectives, which are many. One victim can be picked for 30 different crime motivations, literally. So you better stay with my video series. So then, look at where do you think you're going to end up at once that $225 disappears? Because it doesn't matter if you spend $75 to get your freaking car fixed, okay? They will continue to sabotage your car until you don't even have it physically anymore. They'll keep damaging it electrically and or mechanically until you're down to $25, and then they'll stage a vehicle accident so you don't even have a car to sleep in. And since you don't know yet you're a victim of this crime and that all this shit is being corporately managed, you don't have the inkling yet in your mind. Usually most victims won't even think to go to Walmart and buy a tent. This crime wants you to end up in the environments that they control by intentionally creating circumstances in your life, imposed upon your life 24/7 daily, so then those circumstances can be incrementally, taken advantage of, so they can steer you to the places that they control in order to eventually set you up, and then to set you up for a whole host of different crime motivations. Racketeering schemes, insurance fraud schemes, non-consensual human experimentation schemes, insurance fraud schemes, sexual human trafficking, labor human trafficking, you name it. Those and a bunch of other crime motivations is what they have for you. Period. They are here for one reason and one reason only: to make money off of you every single way they can, including your death. They will take out third-party life insurance policies out on victims, and this crime is also reported to be directly connected to organ harvesting, where they'll literally make money off your dead body. That's how sick these sick fucks are. So just listen, just hear me out. Now, CIA hyper game theory. The game of gang stalking controls the parameters of your life. It knows what it takes to survive within the system dedicated to your country, because this crime is globalist. But let's look at America. In America, we survive by, we are supposed to be able to survive by getting a job, paying our rent, paying a food bill, paying car payments, insurance, the whole 9 yards, and then interfacing with places we go to get needs met, like grocery stores, banks, post offices, dime stores, drug stores, whatever. This is what makes up our community. Okay? So this crime has the ability to interface with every single place you can think of and every single place you go. Just Google the name of any business gang stalking pertaining to the type of business. Grocery stores, restaurants, movie theaters, banks, post offices, coffee shops, any place you can think of. And then you can even go to Google and type in the name of well-known business franchises to gang stalking. Okay? Absolutely. Remember, you can Google all my descriptions, sweethearts. So, since they know what it takes for a human being to survive 24/7, they know you need money or benefits to eat. They know you need a roof over your head. They know you need clothes. They know you need a way to get around. Okay? So what they do is, after they create all these detrimental circumstances that they intentionally, with 1000% criminal intent, 1000% malice of forethought, meaning that every single thing that is done to the victim and every single life circumstance that the victim is intentionally put in is done with massive conspiracy and total criminal forethought. Every single thing the victim is enduring, they were forced to endure purposely. Okay? Absolutely. So let's now say you're homeless and you got $75 left in your bank account because they're spending money on food and gas, and that money is going to go fast, sweetheart, especially with today's prices. Alright? But yet you still don't know you're a gang stalking victim, so you don't know they're going to continue to sabotage your car, and then you don't obviously know that once you go through your last bits of money, they're going to wreck your car, because they don't even want you to have a car to sleep in. So this is part of the parameters of the game that you're put in. Because when you look at Monopoly as a game, again, you buy that from the store, you get it out, you take everything out, you look at the instructions, you learn how to play it. So you play the game in the way that it says you're supposed to play the game. So then each action within Monopoly is a parameter of the choices you're allowed to have. Okay? That's what CIA hyper game theory is. They know what they've done to you. They know what circumstance you're in. They know what resources you got and don't. Okay? They know where you run to for help. I'm sorry. They know where you end up at. Like if they made you homeless, they know you're going to go to the woods or sleep on a park bench, whatever. Well, they got the ability to control that now, because they know you don't own the land that you're putting your tent on. And they'll start exploiting that. Make no fucking mistake about it. It's one of the main reasons why they do it. And please excuse my language. So we are now seeing the circumstances and the control they have over them. That is part of the game. So just to interject a fast statement here. In CIA hypergame theory, that's basically where you are put in a game and you are given only a limited amount of options to function within the game. As an example, say if you are now enduring the community-based harassment connected to gang stalking, whether you are aware that what you're enduring is through the crime of gang stalking concerning its name, okay? So you would then be able to get online and extensively research it. You are now experiencing the community-based harassment, where the community is now used against you, and they are used, I'd say about at least 98.999% of the time, to apply gang stalking victims upon you, around you, towards your property, towards your circumstance, and everything else. So when you are put in this game, and you are only allowed to have certain options, because think about what I'm saying. If you don't have money for a lawyer, you're not going to be able to get a lawyer. If you don't have the money to feed yourself, you're not going to be able to feed yourself. So this is where they're now controlling what options they got left, that are left in your life, that you're going to be needing in order to survive. Now, hold on 1 second. Okay? So, just like Monopoly, Monopoly has rules, and it's only got limited amounts of options within how to play the game. Same thing concerning this crime. So, hyper game theory, in short, I'll be detailing it more as I continue to make this video series. Hold on a second. So, it's basically, so then, look at what type of options then you would think that you have left. Well, I can go to food banks and get food. I can go to churches and get food. I can go to social services and get food stamp benefits. Yes, you can. But you see, there's other variables connected to this crime, like they need to, if they want to, if they have picked you for illegal probate control schemes, they know in order to get that through the court, they need to then be able to supply a long history, okay, documented through paperwork. The only way to get that paperwork and to make it appear that what's put on it has a long history, then they need multiple pieces of paperwork. So, they can't really get illegal probate control of you unless you do something drastic, okay, within a week after they start targeting you, okay. They can use also neural weaponry on you to get you to do something that can be drastic. So always remember that. But here's the point. If they want to try and say that Mr. Williams or Mr. Joe, okay, is mentally ill and or can't take care of themselves or is a threat to themselves or others or a combination of all three, they want to try and be able to, so that they can then make the person a victim of organized crime run group homes, which are where the victim is placed at once illegal probate control is obtained. They want to be able to show that that victim, that there's paperwork on that victim that runs, that stretches out for years. Okay? Because they know once they put you in that group home, they're going to exploit the fuck out of you. And you're going to respond to it. You can also be, again, through neural weaponry, connected to gang stalking, remote neural monitoring, voice of skull with voice morphine, and a bunch more. They know that they're going to victimize you for as long as they got control over you through legal probate control schemes. So when they start victimizing you, they know you're going to act out. They also know how healthy you are and intelligent you are as well. So they know you're going to run away. They know you're going to try to run away. They know you're going to reach out for help. They know you're going to expose any abuse you're enduring in the home. So in order to make it appear that the request for, when they petition the court to keep the legal probate control, when they use their guardianship as a way to put you in a psychiatric ward because they're claiming you're acting out, they know that when they create these additional falsified documentations, it allows them to keep that illegal probate control longer. And they apply for federal and state funds in your name when they make you a ward of this, when they appoint a guardian over you.